You fuckers. I've been yapping this entire time. I didn't have my fucking chat up. I was just reading off the screen. Oh, all right. Now we're live. Okay. All right. Well, now we're good. Okay. We're fucking rolling now. This is how we get the comment section vibing. Okay. Wow. All right. Now we're rolling. Anyway, what I was saying, the vulture is fucking fantastic for Saquon. If you didn't sign up, use code BDGE because when you do, you'll get not only the vulture, you'll get fucking... anyway, let's fucking dial in, okay? Right? Yeah, I started no sound. Restart. I get it. Okay. Chill. We're fine. Okay. All right. What I was saying, vulture, you get that on Underdog. What a vulture is. Okay, let's restart. A vulture, I thought was when the running back gets his rushing touchdown taken within the 5-yard line by quarterback, a different running back that's not on the list, etc. But it's actually not. It's apparently if any running back or any wide receiver takes their touchdown. So Saquon is actually a fantastic bet to do the vulture on because if Jalen Hurts just rushes for a touchdown, it doesn't have to be within the 5. Bada bing, bada boom. You get your vulture. Your pick is free. So that's pretty dub. It's a pretty big dub. You guys are good. I appreciate you guys letting me know that the sound wasn't on. I literally turned on the sound anyway. Yeah, so vulture would be great for Saquon. If you can't bet Underdog, I like his 2.5 receptions line, which is what I was going to show you guys. I like his 2.5 receptions line right down here. That's another bet I do like for tonight. So I have his receptions at 2.5. It's not on Underdog, so instead I definitely would take this. The vulture feels honestly damn near free. Yeah, so I'll explain it one more time what the vulture is. Okay. Go back on mute. Maybe I will. Okay. So the vulture is very plain, simple, easy. Okay. So if Saquon rushes for a touchdown, it doesn't matter, the bet catches. If another player rushes for a touchdown in the game, his play gets vultured. What that means is it completely takes his prop away. So it will just get voided. So you won't have a negative. You won't lose your money. If you do a 2-slip with him, it just won't count. So it's pretty much like a free square almost. As long as Jalen Hurts rushes for a touchdown or Saquon rushes for a touchdown, it is damn near a free square. Any deep sleeper, anytime touchdown picks for tonight, I will get to that. You say you got Wicks, Dave. I will get to that. I do have a few that I really, really like. But Saquon's a very good value because of the vulture. So it damn near feels like, to me at least, a free square. If Jalen Hurts gets in, it counts. If Kenneth Gainwell gets in, it counts. If Saquon gets in, obviously it cashes. Like, this feels so damn free. So yeah, as long as it's on Underdog, because they're the one doing the vulture. If you're betting it on like FanDuel or something, it's not going to obviously vulture that. It's just the promo that they're running. But you have to make sure when you do click it, you make sure it's vultured, whatever. But, yeah, so you can't use code BDG. Damn, that's fine. You still get the vulture promo, though, so that's okay. But if you do sign up using code BDGE when you sign up on Underdog, what you will get is a free line for Dak half of a square. So Dak gets a free line on Sunday. You will get a Saquon Barkley. You will get a Jordan Love. 3 free squares by using our code. You really can't get much better than that. Plus, you'll get up to a $1,000 deposit match bonus. So, yeah, that's a big dub. Now going on to other bets I like. Other bets I'm interested in at least. I love Jalen Hurts passing line right here. 237. It got higher. It was all the way up to like 245 at one point. Lowered back down to 237. This is the sweet spot of right where we want him. I understand Kellen Moore's offense. All 64, you better like. Okay. Kellen Moore's offense is a very, very pass-heavy offense. Is it the best, most efficient offense? No. Do I love the offense? No. But what I do love is the volume that you're going to get when taking these picks. Jalen Hurts averaged last year at the end of the season 28.5 passing attempts per game. When Kellen Moore was coaching the Chargers last season, 37.5 passing attempts per game. That is damn near 10 more passing attempts per game than Jalen Hurts was at the end of last season. Now, Jalen Hurts season long, I think it was 31.2. So, again, you're going to increase 6 more attempts on the average. Now, let's bring that down. It's probably not going to be 37. 37 feels still high for this Eagles offense, but he's still probably going to pass the ball around 35 times. 34 times. That still is 2 to 3 more passes than he was getting before. He was hitting this line at 50% of games last year. This Packers defense, I understand they got Xavier McKinney. He's a great ad, but I don't think he's going to be the difference maker in this. I think Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, now they just added Jahan Dotson, Saquon Barkley's in the backfield, Dallas Goedert. They have so many goddamn weapons that it's going to be almost impossible for you to just completely stop this offense. Plus, you have the running threat, so the play action goes. I think overall, Jalen Hurts is going to have a good passing day, especially because everyone has the narrative, oh, he's just a running quarterback. He also last year was dealing with a shoulder injury. He was dealing with an ankle injury. He was not 100% himself, where now you get that Jalen Hurts at 100%. I absolutely love this line. I think he's going to get around 250 tonight. Unders on both Love and Hurts due to it being in Brazil, the first game of the year. I get the Brazil take. I just don't know how much that's actually going to affect it. I know we weighed in last year so much on London for the Jags and Bills game, and Trevor Lawrence still had a really good game, so it's really hard to just like base off that. But I do like if you want to take the unders on that, that's perfectly fine. I don't know, these offenses are so good, but the only things I would take is the lower. If we're gonna talk lowers, yeah, games outside the U.S. do tend to go lower. That is factual. Lower on Josh Jacobs. I got him at 65.5, but now he's at 63. Sorry, I got him at 65.5. Now he's 63.5. I still like him at 63.5. Reason why I'm taking the lower, Vic Fangio's coming over to the Eagles. Vic Fangio, if you don't remember, last season with the Dolphins D-line that was very beat up, with a linebacker core that was very young and inexperienced, but and beat up as well. They also got very injured as well by the end of the season. The Dolphins still had a top 5 rushing defense under the Vic Fangio scheme. Vic Fangio also was with the Eagles in 2022. When he was with them in 2022, they had a top 3 overall defense as well as a rushing defense and a yards per attempt defense. The Packers' O-line is beat up. They don't have, obviously, like the David Bakhtiaris of the world. They still have like Allen Jenkins in them, but it's a younger team. It's a younger offensive line. And Josh Jacobs, as electric as he is as a player, he fed off averaging 17.5 rushing attempts per game. For him to hit that high number, I understand there's not a lot of rushing going on outside of him, as everyone on their goddamn depth chart is hurt. But I think he's still not going to see under that 17.5 line. I think with Jordan Love's line, if we can even check it right now, it's live line, he's going to pass the ball a lot. I mean, he's expected 35 passing attempts for a reason. They want to sling the rock with Jordan Love, and I think that is exactly what they're planning to do. That's why I'm taking the under on Josh Jacobs. He was inefficient last year. He's been inefficient. Vic Fangio's scheme, again, top 5 with the Dolphins. Now he gets an upgrade at D-line. He gets an upgrade in the secondary. I think this is going to be a dangerous, dangerous Eagles team once again. I just absolutely love it. I think the Eagles are going to control clock in this game as well. So I'm loving the under there for Josh Jacobs. And over I like, as we talked about on Twitter, as if you guys saw on damn, they took it off right now. I'll take his 7 targets, but it was 4.5 receptions here for Devonta. We'll see if we fresh and it's back. But I liked his 4.5 receptions a lot. You can get it on books if you need. Looks like you're going to probably have to. 4.5 receptions. We took it on Pickett. It's not popping up, but I have it on Pickett somewhere. It just might not be updated on my computer. I think I got it on FanDuel for -121 or -120. So it's definitely on there. I think he's going to absolutely cook, and we can look at his props.cash as that might be the best example for Devonta at the least, where he just absolutely smashed this line. I think he's hit this in 7 of his last 10 games, if I'm not mistaken. Let's pull it up. Devonta Smith. Oh, that's receiving yards. Let's go to receptions. 4.5 receptions, -128. It says it's on Underdog, but I don't see it anywhere. 7 for 10, 5.7 receptions per game, so he's absolutely smashing this. Now, again, there is going to be a Jair Alexander. Is he going to roam? Is he not? He hasn't been recently, but I expect him to probably this game. I understand the unders on overseas, whatever. Devonta Smith still will be a focal point in this offense. He's still going to absolutely kill it in this offense. He still is a great compliment to A.J. Brown. Now they're going to run more 3 wide receiver sets with Jahan Dotson involved. It's going to free up Devonta. Obviously, Goedert's now healthy. Again, going to continue to free up Devonta. Saquon's in the backfield now. They're going to have to stack the box just a little bit more compared to someone like DeAndre Swift who couldn't read a hole if his life depended on it. Offensive line is still elite. This team is going to move the ball, dude. I know I'm reading the chat as you guys go through this. Like I'm fully reading the chat as you guys are just yapping. You and I, Dave, Alex. But yeah, Chef JMO is in the house. He is cooking. If you guys can hear that. But so Jacobs is a bell cow running back because all the Packers running backs are injured, so you're taking the under. I'm surprised by the logic. I understand the bell cow role because he's injured, but being a bell cow doesn't mean he's going to be efficient, right? I mean, he can see 14 attempts and not even scrape this line. I think the Eagles' defense and defensive line is going to be elite this year. They've absolutely loaded the fuck up at that position. Vic Fangio is one of the best in the game at stopping the run. They want to pass the ball the more. I love Josh Jacobs over reception line as well. I think he's at 16.5 rushing attempts, by the way. 18.5 receiving yards. This was all the way down at 16.5 at one point. I like the over there. 18.5 feels a little bit high for me. I think he can catch the ball a lot, sure, but they're going to want to sling the rock with Jordan Love. I think they're going to be down in this game. So game script also fits this narrative. I seem to like it a lot more than I do any over by any means here. And again, I got it at 65.5, but 63 I still love. He hasn't hit this anytime recently with the Raiders. Again, it was the Raiders, so you can't really compare apples to oranges. That's why I'm not. But if we just go to it real quick, we'll look. Hit this 5 of the last 10, averaging only 69.7, so he barely got over this. And he hit this 5 of 13 games in 2023. Again, one of these games, I guess he got hurt, so I don't know if you really want to count that 5 of 12 games. He just doesn't hit it at a consistent enough basis for me to really just love it. I mean, if you go like to the past years of 2022, sure, when he was the running back 1. But again, I don't think that happens this year. The scheme also is an outside zone scheme. We're used to Josh Jacobs running downhill in the Raiders, single back, just getting some momentum. Jordan Love will be in the shotgun. I would say 80 to 90% of this game. It's going to look a lot different than when he did at the Raiders. So we will have to see how that happens. You guys are multitasking. How do we feel about Goedert under? I think it was set at 40. We can look at that real quick. Goedert under is interesting. Again, so many goddamn weapons at offense. But it does scare me with how much volume that's going to be happening. It's at 38.5. So if you were to take that, doesn't feel great. As reception line's only 4.5. Only 4. Which means it's probably 3.5 on books. I would probably lean the under there if I were to take anything. But I'm probably going to stay away from the Goedert stuff. Just because, again, we can look at his props.cash. We can see what he's rocking with recently. But last year he was banged up a ton. Hit this in 5 of 10 games, averaging 40 yards per game. This is what scares me, though, is because like this Packers secondary got absolutely torched by like Bryce. I understand new DC. Completely, it's going to be a new defense. Xavier McKinney now joins. Jair's now healthy. I understand. But he still has games that like blow the fuck up, which is why I just kind of avoid tight ends like Dallas Goedert, who are very elite receiving tight ends. He can just have random-ass games of massive proportion if they end up shutting down or slowing down Devonta Smith. I don't think that happens tonight, but it could, and it's a very big possibility. Taking an under on a really good tight end I don't love it, but it is something that's there. Jalen Hurts now at 236. I might have to place another slip and stain. Yeah, but where the fuck were we at? Surprised you prefer yards over rushing attempts. Yeah, I mean, rushing attempts, like, again, I said earlier, I think he could see the rushing, like, he could see 17 attempts in this game and not hit this line, and that's very possible. He averaged 17.5 last season, which is a roughly 18 attempts per game, and still was not hitting this at a consistent rate. Now, again, Raiders to Packers, apples to oranges, you can't compare entirely, but it's a completely different scheme now. I don't know how well Josh Jacobs is going to do in an outside zone preference scheme, and even in an inside zone scheme, and a zone scheme in general. They did a total gap scheme at the Raiders where he was running through 1, 2 hole, the 3 hole, running trap, running power, running ISO. He's not running those plays anymore with Green Bay. I mean, Green Bay might go back to their old Rodgers under center love, but I highly doubt it. They're not a huge under center team. They are a gun team. They're now with how many wide receivers they have, the talent they have on the outside. There'd be no reason for them to stay under center. Especially, I mean, they have 2 great tight ends too. Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave can be utilized in their own right. I don't think is Tucker playing? I don't think so. I think he's hurt, if I'm not mistaken. No, he's playing. Yeah, so Tucker's even playing. They have 2 elite tight ends. Not elite, but they have 2 very good tight ends as well. So they have the talent around them. I don't know if they're really going to need to use him as the workhorse as we think he's going to be. I think he could score a touchdown. Like, fantasy-wise, I think he's still startable. I don't think he's going to be that ass. But I could see it being 50 yards and a touchdown, and he catches 1 pass for 20 yards. Sure. Or 2 passes for 20 yards. Sure. I understand. I think your point about Raiders versus Packers is a legit point, but I appreciate you diving more. Yeah, no, 100%. You don't have to, like, agree with me. You can fade the fuck out of me, whatever you want. But that's just where I'm at. And I always explain my side of things. Anything you like on Christian Watson? I have him at receiving touchdown and Jalen Hurts at a rushing touchdown parlay. The odds are at Jair doing the coin toss. Probably pretty high. I mean, he's the veteran on the team. Him or Love. I would assume that. I don't love Christian Watson, dude. Like, I'm off the Christian Watson train almost entirely. Touchdown-wise, though, touchdown, you're getting him at probably the best value. He's a touchdown scorer. He's going to be one of the red zone guys. But I just, like, only 5.5 targets for a reason, only 40 receiving yards for a reason. I don't love his value there by any means. I don't think he's that great of a receiver. I don't think he's that great of a route runner. But we'll have to see. How do we feel about the Eagles' money line tonight? I kind of love it. I think the Eagles are going to come out with this one. Here's how, let's be realistic here. I'll be very transparent. I want the Packers to win, but I think the Eagles are going to win. That's kind of like how it is. Like, I would love if the Packers won and Jalen Reed had a great game. Dontavian Wicks broke out. Like, it was a high scoring, high action, a lot of fun to watch type of game. Those are the games I love, and I think these offenses can do it. I don't think it's going to be a defensive battle here, Philly Eagles. Like, I don't see it. I should look at their over-under where it's at now. It was high earlier. But I haven't checked in the past probably about 12 hours. I checked like last night and this morning. Anyway, yeah, I would love for it to be a high-scoring game. Love for it to be a lot of fun. Jalen Reed, anytime touchdown parlay with Jordan Love pass attempts under 35 pass attempts. Honestly, for Jordan Love, though, it's not crazy. That's the thing. I was looking at Jordan Love pass attempts, and I was going to originally be like, listen, that seems high as fuck. And then you look at it, and you're like, is it? Is it? I mean, at the end of the season, yes, but we're also looking at playoffs here, right? These are playoff games. And at the end of the season, Carolina, do you need to pass on them? No, you're up. Like, look at the last 5. Dallas, he absolutely smoked Dallas. Like, they won by fucking 30. They're not going to need it there. In San Francisco, he still got 34, but against elite defense. Sure, Chicago, but Chicago, Minnesota, sure, those 2 games he could have. Carolina, he didn't because they were up by so much. But then you go to the bigger games where he's in close games, and it's Tampa Bay 39 versus the Giants, Kansas City 36, Detroit 32. But again, that's more of a game where there's going to be a run script, lower scoring, Thanksgiving type game. The Chargers 40. We'll see what they do against the Birds. I feel like the Birds might be more like San Francisco where he'll go under this line. But it's like you never fucking know, especially because it's at 35 right now. Like, he could easily push this too, but that's also a good side of the bet. Philly pass defense last year was horrendous, if you don't remember. Absolutely fucking garbage. Might as well have walked all over them. But they made a lot of upgrades, and they added a lot of rookies there. 2 top 40 rookies, so we'll see how they do. New scheme of Vic Fangio. We'll see how that does. But for the most part, it's a scary bet. But I appreciate the input. I mean, it's fun to talk about, just kind of like what can happen here. The completions feel good to me too at 22.5. That kind of feels a little bit high, but we'll see. Hot take: Watson is the 4th best wide receiver on the team. I don't know if that's even hot. Yeah, Kraft is questionable. That's what I thought. I thought he was banged up. I didn't think he was like full on ready to go. How do we feel about the Eagles money line? We talked about that. Jada Reed, anytime touchdown parlay. Jordan Pass Love. That's what I just yapped about. That's how I felt last night. I wanted the Ravens to win because I hate the Chiefs, but I had to bet on the Chiefs, unfortunately. Yeah, no, that's exactly how it is. Like, I want the Packers to win, but ultimately I think the Eagles are the better team. Not by much. I think they're both very, very good teams. Like, the matchup we're getting for a Friday night game and Thursday night games are incredible. And I think that is awesome that we're getting these. high impact games, high meaningful games. Like, this is a game that you want to start on your schedule where you can be like, we went out and beat Green Bay. We went out and beat Philly week 1. That's what you need. I take Josh Jacobs' receptions. That's a good line. I like that. I think he's going to be utilized more as a pass catcher in this offense. Went Devonta, Jalen, Dobbs, Wicks parlay. That is a hell of a parlay. And I'm assuming you're talking about, yeah. Touchdowns, I'm assuming, for a parlay. Looks good for the under with the Eagles defense, though, right? Yeah, no, it's we'll see. I mean, I would agree if you were to lean anything, it would be under, but it just scares me depending on the script. What does fumble loss mean? Love the opinion on half-5 fumbles lost. Is 3.21 higher bet? Is that too risky? I mean, fumbles lost, it simply is as it put. So if you go to fumbles lost, I don't know if they'll have it on quarterbacks. We go to like Josh Jacobs. Does he have it either? No. Does Saquon have it? He should. Damn, no one got fumbles lost? I know exactly what you're talking about, though. So fumbles lost on a bet is spicy because the person has to fumble the ball. Like, they have to legitimately fumble the ball, and then it gets turned over to the other team. So, for example, if we'll say Jalen Hurts runs the football tonight, he fumbles on the run, the Packers have to recover it for that bet to hit. So it's a very high-risk bet. I would never bet that, if I'm going to be honest, unless a player is fumbling every goddamn play, sure, but I just would not put my money into that unless I'm putting, like, a $2 fucking parlay down or some shit for, like, funsies. Yeah, I would not. It feels like a very risky bet because a lot of players don't fumble that much. It's, like, kind of rare to fumble unless you're bad. Watson is just big booty, though. It's a risk, but I felt more decent about his 1+ touchdown. No, yeah, I get the risk. I mean, he's going to be a red zone guy. You're going to have to look to him there. I understand the bet. I mean, they're going to get creative down the goal line, so we'll see what happens. But I want Packers to win, but I also want to put my money on Quinyon Mitchell winning Defensive Rookie of the Year. I'm not a big Quinyon fan. He was my cornerback 3 coming in. Just a pure zone guy. Never really played man in college. Which scares me a little bit coming into the NFL, where now the NFL is trending toward a lot more man. At least the good teams are. The Eagles are probably going to do that in the Vic Fangio scheme a little bit more. But Vic Fangio is also known for running a lot of cover 6, cover 8, mixing in a lot of really good coverages in the back. So they're splitting coverages sometimes as well. So we'll see how he does. And Quinyon Mitchell is probably going to be a great fit for the team. If they're running a ton of zone, he's going to be right in that wheelhouse. He is a zone scheme corner. As a Packers fan, I'm giving Watson one more year to see if he figured it out after his injury. Listen, 4 hamstring injuries, coming from a guy who tore his hamstring 2 times in college playing the running back position, it is tough to come back from hamstring injuries, and him having so many hamstring injuries. Realistically, I'm kind of just like naturally out on it, but we'll have to see. I just don't trend towards the hamstring stuff, but we'll see how it does. We'll see how he is. With the vulture promo, almost feels like Sunday morning we got to cook up all the running back touchdown scorer parlays. No, literally, that's what they want you to do, and then just you get fucked, and it's like, damn, that sucks. I respectfully disagree with Watson being the 4th best wide receiver on Green Bay. If he's healthy, he's a baller. Here's the thing with Watson, right? And I'll dive into this on anything. Do you bet anything on FanDuel? I can't bet underdog when I'm live. If you go to my Pickett, I should update my Pickett. I'll sync it right now. If you go to my Pickett, which is like Pickett app, bang. If you go to Pickett, download using code BDGE. Not only will you follow Nick, you can also follow me on there at Guts045 or at Nick Guthrie. The same thing as my Twitter. You can see all my bets, and I don't bet really at all on underdog on here. So you'll see all of my FanDuel bets, and you'll see that I went down like 7 units yesterday because the boys were just placing egregious parlays. And I got out of hand, and it happens. And now I'm down on the month when I was up by like 5 units just because I got egregious. But we'll be fine. We have NCAA coming up. We have today as well to recover. But a lot of bets going on. I have Devonta over receptions at plus 118 because of some promos on FanDuel. I have Saquon over 2.5 receptions on where did I bet that? That was DK. I have a 2-leg parlay on underdog that I did for the free promo. I have a few 3-legger, like free plays that I threw out. Under on Josh Jacobs, obviously. Over on Jalen Hurts on FanDuel. BetMGM on that one. So, yeah, I have a bunch of different books on the Pickett app. So, if you go to the Pickett app, you can see just the whole fucking thing. It's a different app. Pinkett's an app. Yeah, that's crazy. Thoughts on Dobbs' spicy touchdown? Dobbs is an interesting player. J-Mo loves him now that he's on his Madden franchise. Big Dobbs fan over here. But I don't know if I love him as much. Fucking fly needs to get out of my face. The guy that I think it's going to be Jaden Reed is one of he's going to be the gadget guy, the guy that does the Deebo Samuel role. You can rely on him. Christian Watson might see a fucking long-ass touchdown. That's what you're going to look for him. Christian Watson's not going to be a guy that just consistently beats coverages. It's not his role. Romeo Dobbs is going to be the inside guy, the gadget guy that gets more of the dig routes, the post routes, the in-breaking 20-yard bench routes, 15-yard bench routes. If you don't know what bench route is, it's kind of like an up and an out, what they run a lot of in the NFL. Dontavian Wicks, though, feels great at 28.5 receiving yards. And the reason why is Dontavian Wicks might be their third, fourth receiver, right? But I'm going to be honest. If I'm looking at this wide receiver room, talent-wise, I'm going Jaden Reed, then Dontavian Wicks. Sorry, had to say it, dude. His knack to get the ball, move his body, torque his body, run clean post seams, corner routes. He plays exactly like Devontae Adams did. Obviously to a lesser degree, but he is so damn talented. And when you watch his film, he pops off the screen. You can tell he's an elite route runner. It'll be interesting to see what he does. I think his his yards more than his reception line, but it's going to be interesting to see how they use him. Obviously, you've Tucker Kraft, who's questionable, and you still have guys like Luke Musgrave who are going to catch the rock. I don't want to take the over on almost any receiver. I fucking hate this. This team is so spread out. It's so hard and so condensed. Where I'd rather just bet on Devonta or AJ, where they're going to get peppered, they're going to get the targets, and what's going to happen. And Saquon, again, to the people that are new here that weren't in here at the beginning, the vulture for Saquon feels fantastic, simply off the fact of the vulture means if any player gets a rushing touchdown, he will then get vultured entirely, what means his play will void. If Jalen Hurts rushes in from the 10-yard line, Saquon's play will absolutely be void, vultured, whatever you want to call it, and it won't count. So if you have a 2-leg slip, it will get wiped. Or if it hits, whatever, and you have a 3-leg slip and it hits and his play was in there, it'll get swiped, waived, whatever, still will count towards money. That's insane. I'm allowed to sports bet, but I can't pick pick'ems. Yeah, no, it's the state laws are so dumb. It's like PA. PA is the worst state to try to bet in. What are your thoughts on Jahan Dotson? I'm staying away from Jahan. I love Jahan as a player. I think he's a good player, but I'm staying away. I don't know how he's really going to operate in this Kellen Moore offense yet. Going to wait to see for that. It's a great question, to be honest. It's whoever's open to throw him the ball, but Reed is probably the safest. So what do you think about Jalen Hurts 1.5 passing touchdowns? I love it. Love Jalen Hurts 1.5 passing touchdowns. And then, again, I'm taking this over on passing yards. I think he's going to cook tonight. Passing touchdowns also feels great. I know it's a spicy, if I'm not mistaken. Again, it's not on here. Why the fuck are all the plays gone? What the hell? I guess because it's so close to game time hour out, they're probably adjusting everything. But I do like his 1.5 passing touchdowns. I think it's a good line. I would take that, especially for the plus money value. I also like Jordan Love's too. Jordan Love's hits is at a crazy rate. Same with Loki. His rushing yards is pretty low as well. I saw someone talk about that on Twitter. His rushing yard line seems crazy low for him, averaging 3 rushes a game. So I mean, maybe he can scoot a little bit, get a little scooting stains going for this game. But for now, I'm taking right now Saquon at 2.5 receptions, or if you're on underdog, vulture. Jalen Hurts at passing yards. I would take Devontae over receptions at 4.5, but it's not on here right now. So we'll pivot off that. And Josh Jacobs lower on rushing yards. Yeah. Saquon receiving line seems low. Yeah, so I'm taking his over on receptions. I think he's going to get a few screen passes, going to get some checkdowns in the Kellen Moore offense. If you remember, Austin Eckler was ass last year, still got 51 receptions and 70 targets. I think Saquon's going to get something similar to that today. My only worry would be if Kenneth Walker comes in and not Kenneth Walker, if Kenneth Gainwell comes in and is an absolute dickhead. But I don't know if that's really going to happen, so we will see. FanDuel boost for the day is plus 115 for Saquon, Josh Jacobs to combine for 120 rushing yards. What are your thoughts on that? I don't love that. Packers rush defense wasn't horrendous, but it's not great. and the Eagles' run defense should be elite. So it's a little high. Don't really love it, but again, combined, one of them could go for like fucking 80. The other one goes for 40. It's worth a shot. I mean, it's plus money, so you might as well put a little sprinkle on it at the very least. But I'm not super confident on that. Like the Mahomes-Lamar one last night felt fantastic. Like that one was almost locky. But tonight it's a little bit different for sure, just because of the rushing. Rushing, I'm not as confident, especially in this day of the game where you're passing the ball at least 35 times. You think you're going to cook tonight? Who going to cook tonight? Hurts going to cook tonight? Hurts definitely going to cook tonight. We're going to be live. Jordan Love over 2.5 rushing attempts is wild. Yeah, I mean, he averages 30 a game. That's the line. I got CJ Stroud over 1.5 passing touchdowns. The Texans pair with a -2.5 parlay on Sunday. I hate. Oh, wait, who are the Texans playing? Oh, Indianapolis. Yeah, I have that. I was thinking Titans. Titans, I'm fucking taking all the way against Chicago. I'm slamming Titans plus 4.5. I think it is 3.5 now. Was aching over Saquon a reach? Am I reading that wrong? Or eating over Saquon a reach? I'm confused. I got Saquon over 17.5 opinion. For receiving yards? Is that what you're talking about? Receiving yards? Over 17.5? Yeah, I mean, right here. It's not bad. I have him over 2.5 receptions. So, I mean, plays there. He's athletic as fuck. He's going to be a freak. I mean, they're expecting him to get first downs. 5 of them. Thanks, which is kind of fucking high. But, yeah, no, I mean, I like the play for sure. I think it definitely could be a solid play. Oh, Achane. I got Achane. Oh, okay. Over Saquon, is that a reach? No, I think Achane could be explosive. He's the most insane upside, and it could be a dog this year in fantasy football. When Bateman caught that pass, all I could think of was how you were saying, dude, oh my, I was so mad. If you saw me on Twitter, I was like, bro, you literally can't make this up. The 2 beats we had last night were Bateman over 30.5 or under 30.5 receiving yards, and he sucked. He looked like ass, fucking was ass. Caught 1 pass the entire game until the very last catch of the game was a 30-yard absolute huck chuck to fucking sell us that. Like, the read was entirely there. He was game planned out. It wasn't touching the ball. He was just used as a blocker for most of the game. Was used as a decoy, and then he absolutely huck chucked to him at the very last desperation heave, and he fucking catches it. And I was like, what the fuck? And then also we had the Mahomes over 20.5 rushing yards. Ran for 20 when he already had 3 rushing yards before that. Ran for 20. Got called back on an offsetting penalty. Like, you can't make that up, dude. We got fucked on the goddamn bets last night. I was so mad. I was pissed. But that's what happens in betting. Sometimes it doesn't go your way, and that happens. We still cooked in college football last week, and I'm expecting to cook in college football today or tomorrow on Saturday. So I'm really excited about that. We do have a video out right now on this channel if you want to go check that out after this. I go over my 3 or 4 college plays that I have for Saturday. So if you like college football and you're into college football, make sure to go check that video out. It's a very similar format to this. We go over the underdog side of things. I go over the props.cash side of things. Again, it's just college football. So if you know college football, you like college football, you want to bet on college football, or you just want to hear about college players and want to get your ball knowledge up for college games, dial in. We'll lock in. The callback on Mahomes scramble, maybe you want to punch a puppy. No, dude, I was livid. That was crazy. Yeah, I was pissed. But schedule for the next few days, we obviously have these games today. Tomorrow we have college football. I have a video out for that right now. I have another video going out tomorrow morning for Sunday's plays. The 5 plays I like for Sunday's games. One of them is, I'll give it to you now. One of them is Russ, but Russ is now, since I recorded that show previously, now Russ is might not even play. So we'll see if that, I like the under. That's what I was taking, his under, and now he might not play. So we'll see. Lamar's line was 15.5, and he had damn near 100. He also rushed 16 times, dude. Like, what? I don't know why he was rushing so much. The line was horrible. Wasn't getting the reads off in time. Wasn't getting to his second reads. Any good bets in A.J. Brown, dude? I'm kind of like, I get some people. I saw Alex Caruso's on his over receiving yards, and that's what I would say most people are on. I am probably not going to touch it. Just, I think Devonta is going to have a better game. I mean, it depends where Jair really lands. Like, if Jair does what he does to Jay Jettas and just shadows, it's like, fuck. Then you're screwed. And it's like, because Jair's so elite. I kind of like, yeah, I don't know. If I were to go anything, I'd probably go receptions, and then I'll go receiving yards. That's what I'll probably do. Fantasy points isn't a bad shout. He's probably going to find the end zone. But again, you have to remember, Underdog is not PPR. It's half PPR. So taking fantasy points of wide receivers sometimes can be scary. I might be dumb, but is there a way you can tell what betting all you use to place your bets on Pickett? Yeah, you click it, and then it'll tell you the book I had, and you can copy it. And or like you can use whatever. Or if you want to use a promo, you can just find the bet, whatever. Both work. AJ Brown scored both times he's played against Green Bay. Listen, I mean, maybe AJ Brown over receptions feels a lot better than it does yards for me. Yards feels high. I mean, it's AJ Brown. Never know. But I'd probably lean receptions 6.5. He hit that at a pretty good base. We can look back last year. Let's look back to last season. Where was he at receiving yards line? AJ Brown, 7.5, had a few big games, but again, at the end of the season, he was dealing with a hurt Jalen Hurts. But in the beginning of the season, man, he was fucking good. Damn. But again, also, if I'm not mistaken, he had the receptions to back it up. We can just scroll down and look. Targets was averaging 9.3 last season. Receptions averaging 6.2 in that span. He had 7, 4, 9, 9, 6, 7, 10.5, 10, 8, 7. So yeah, absolutely cooking on the receptions. So I like that line a lot. If he's going to go over in yards, he's probably going to go over in receptions, especially because it's only at 5.5, if I'm not mistaken, right? That's what I saw. Yeah, 5.5 feels low. So I would take the receptions for sure. And I like Devonta Smith's reception more at 4.5. So if you can get Devonta at 4.5, I got it on Pickett. You can find that on Pickett. Again, Pickett's not refreshed right now, which is really cool. But oh, there it is. Yeah, I got it here, 4.5. So I also took Devonta Wicks for a touchdown stain, little half-unit play to see what happens. But we'll figure that all out. Make sure you follow me on Pickett. Use code BDGE when you sign up. You'll also follow Nick as well. You'll be able to see all his parlays. If you follow Tony at Tony No Dimes, you'll be able to see all his parlays. And if you want to follow Jameson, it is just Jameson. Because he's a fucking goat like that as he's cooking food. And as we're going to cook up these legs and we're going to end the stream here, I appreciate all you fellas for being here. I love all of you. We will be live again tomorrow before the college games. And it will also be live, me, JMO, and Tony. I'm pretty sure we'll all be live on Sunday, having a bigger stream where we all yap about Sunday's entire slate. We go over every game, the odds on every game for over-unders, money lines. We'll be going over damn near everything there, our favorite picks from those games as well. So that's going to be a longer stream. It's probably going to be like an hour, a little bit more. And we're excited for that, and we will yap with you guys about the games. And any questions you have, if you want to come with damn start sits, whatever you want to do, betting lines, whatever, we'll answer those for week 1 of the NFL season. We're here, baby. Hope you guys enjoy this game as much as I will, and let's cash out. All right, love you guys.